What if I told you that a huge chunk of your support tickets are questions that someone on your team has already solved? Well, today we're diving into the one methodology that's designed to stop that painful cycle for good.
So, does this sound familiar? Your support team feels like they're just stuck on a hamster wheel, right? Answering the same questions day in, day out. It's super common, and honestly, it's totally frustrating. But the good news is, there is a structured way to break that cycle.
And just how big is this problem? Well, it's staggering. Get this. Some research shows that up to 80% of all support requests have already been answered somewhere inside your own organization. 80! I mean, think about that. That is a massive amount of wasted effort. And that's exactly where knowledge-centered service, or KCS, comes into play.
All right, so what is KCS? Let's call it a new way of working. Now, the most important thing to get right off the bat is that KCS is not just another task to pile onto your team's already overflowing plate. No way. It's about fundamentally changing the way you approach problem solving itself.
So, here's the core idea. KCS is a methodology where knowledge gets created and maintained as and this is the key phrase, a natural byproduct of the customer support process. So what does that really mean? It means knowledge isn't some project you get to when you have time, which, let's be honest, is never. Instead, it's something you capture and polish while you're actually solving the customer's problem.
And this really shows the difference, right? On one side, you have the old way. It's a separate project, usually done by technical writers who are kind of guessing what customers need. But on the other side, you've got KCS. It's a byproduct of actually solving problems. It's done by the support engineers on the front lines, and it is completely demand-driven. You're creating knowledge based on what people are actually asking right this second.
I love this quote. It's from the creators of the whole methodology, and it says it all. KCS is not something we do in addition to solving problems. KCS becomes the way we solve problems. You see? It's not an afterthought. The documentation is part of the solution.
Okay, so that's the philosophy. But how does an engineer actually use KCS in their day-to-day work? Well, it all boils down to a really simple, repeatable process called the solve loop.
But before we even look at the steps, there's a mantra you have to burn into your brain. Search early, search often. Seriously, if you remember one thing, make it this. It is the single most important habit. The very first thing an engineer does before anything else is search the knowledge base. This is the magic key that prevents all that duplicate work and unlocks the collective brain power of your whole team.
And the loop itself? It's so simple, it's brilliant. Okay, so step 1, you search. You find an article that works? Awesome. That's step 2. You just link it to the ticket. Is the article almost right but needs a tweak? Well, step 3 is you improve it on the spot. Or if there's no article at all, you create a new one as you're figuring out the solution. And then step 4, you solve the customer's issue and save that beautiful new piece of knowledge for the next person. That's it. All right, so you're creating all this knowledge, but how do you make sure it's actually easy to find and use later? This is where KCS has a secret weapon. It's a very specific 4-block article structure that makes all the difference.
You see, a really good KCS article is more than just a set of instructions. It's about capturing the whole story. It integrates the experience of the person asking the question, the person answering it, and even the company's bigger picture understanding. It's the full context.
Okay, let's break it down. Block 1 is the issue. And this part is absolutely critical. You have to write down the problem using the customer's own words, not your internal jargon, not the technical name for it. Why? It's simple, because the next person who has that exact same problem is going to search for it using those exact same words, and bam, they'll find the answer.
Next up, block 2, the environment. Now, why does this get its own block? Because the details matter. This is where you put all the specifics, the product version, the operating system, the configuration. Think about it. 2 problems can look identical, but the fix is totally different just because of one small environmental detail. This block is what helps you tell them apart.
Block 3 is the resolution, and this is the payoff, right? This is the good stuff. It's the clear, verified, step-by-step solution. We're talking no fluff, no long stories, just the actions you need to take to fix the thing. This is what turns your knowledge base into a trusted, go-to resource. And finally, block 4 is the cause. Now, this one is often optional. For a simple how-to article, you probably don't need it. But for those tricky, complex bugs, oh man, nailing down the root cause is invaluable. It helps you prevent the problem from happening again, and it gives your product team some amazing insights.
Okay, so we've got the theory down, we've got the structure, now let's put it to the test. Let's walk through how this actually works in a real-world scenario. So picture this. An engineer gets a new ticket. The customer says their SSO login is failing after a password reset. Now, the old way would be to start troubleshooting from zero. But with KCS, nope. First step, search the knowledge base. And look at that. They find an article that's almost perfect. So what do? They figure out the new fix, they quickly update the resolution part of that article, and then they save it and close the ticket. The whole thing might have added, what, 2 extra minutes to their work?
But here's where the magic happens. The very next week, just from that one small update, that article automatically deflected 8 other tickets with the exact same issue. That's 8 customers who helped themselves. 8 times the team didn't get interrupted. All because one person took an extra 2 minutes to share what they learned. That is the power of KCS right there.
Now just imagine that. Multiply that one little moment by your entire team every single day, every single week. You can see how fast this stops being a hamster wheel and starts becoming a flywheel. It builds on itself, getting faster and more powerful over time, transforming your team into a proactive, knowledge-generating engine.
And the long-term results? They're just staggering. And look, we're not talking about tiny little improvements. Companies that really commit to KCS see their time to resolution get 50 to 60% faster. And what about first contact resolution? That shoots up by 30 to 50%. I mean, these aren't just small wins. These are numbers that can completely transform a support business.
And it's not just about the customer-facing metrics. The impact on your team is just as huge. The time it takes for a new hire to become fully proficient, it drops by an incredible 70%. Just think about that. Your new folks can be effective in a fraction of the time, all because they've got the entire team's collected wisdom right there at their fingertips from day one.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one thought to chew on. What could your team really build? What could they achieve if they finally got off that hamster wheel and started capturing real value from every single ticket? What proactive, game-changing projects could they finally get to? The answer to that? Well, it could change everything for your organization.